All right, we have got order of operations. It's a 2-day lesson, so we'll start today, first portion of it. All right, so the first thing we need to talk about is what is the definition of an order of operations? Like, what is it that the order of operations is in math? So the easiest way to describe order of operations is really a lot of what the word is itself. The order, I changed the size of my pencil. The order we solve, and the word is expressions, and we're going to talk more about expression versus equation versus inequality. But an expression won't have an equal sign. An expression just has adding or subtracting or multiplying or dividing. There's no equal sign. There's nothing to solve for. We just do the math. We combine like terms, and we put things together. So that's the definition. So you write that in your keyword box. Our goal today, solve expressions using the order of operations. Our goal today, solve expressions using the order of operations. All right, so down in your example section, I've got this image there. So this means that we've all heard of PEMDAS. You know, maybe you've remembered it. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But for PEMDAS, or order of operations, we have to specially pay attention to multiplication and division. So multiplication and division, I have those little arrows and it says work from left to right. Because if I have a problem like 8 divided by 4 times 3, and I want to remind you, I'm not using little x's for multiply anymore. So if I have a problem like 8 divided by 4 times 3, then because multiplication and division are right next door to each other, they're on the same level. They're on the same playing field. Nothing is more important than the other. When they're right next to each other, I'm going to just go from left to right. So you have to start with 8 divided by 4 first. So what is 8 divided by 4? 2. So I've got 2 times 3. And what's 2 times 3? 6. Okay, so put that on the side of your paper. Anything I write down on my iPad, you write down on your paper. Because it's helpful. I'm doing this to help you. Same thing with addition and subtraction. They're on the same level. When they're right next door to each other, you just work from left to right. And that will be an example, and I'll do it. 7 minus 3 plus 1. 7 take away 3 plus 1. So I go first, 7 minus 3?
4.
Yeah. 4 plus 1. 5. Okay? All right, let's start with the actual examples. Let's go to examples number 1. Use the order of operations to solve when x equals 2. I am telling you that x stands for something. X stands for 2. X is 2. So what your job is everywhere you see an x in 1a, you need to replace it, substitute it, plug it in with a 2. So I'm going to go and then do that. So put a 2 in for the x. 2 times 2 squared plus 5. We don't have an x because x equals 2. Okay. Order of operations says that I do what first? Parentheses. That 2 is there, and the 2 has an exponent attached to it. So what's 2 squared?
4.
2 times 2, right? 4. So now I'm going to write 2 times 4. You could even leave it in parentheses if you want, plus 5. So the 2 times 2, or 2 squared, you know, we did, became a 4. Now I still have that 2 on the front, at the beginning, on the outside of the parentheses. So what's 2 times 4?
8.
8 plus 5 is
13.
what kind? What number is it?
13.
13. Good. Let's go on to B. So on B, it's 8 minus x squared. So 8 minus 2 squared. Okay, 8 minus 2 squared. We do what first? What do we do first? Parentheses. What's 2 squared? 4. So you're just going to write 8 minus 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. Awesome. And lastly, C. 6 plus 3, instead of x, put a 2. Ooh, 2 to the third. Do not add 6 plus 3 and put a 9. That is wrong. A lot of people just, I don't know, you just don't pay attention, you get lazy, and you're like, oh, 9 times 2. Nope, nope, nope. You have to do the 2 to the third power. 2 times 2 times 2 is? 2 times 2 times 2. 8. Okay? 2 to the third is 8. 2 times 2 times 2. Okay. What's 3? Now, oh. I cannot just add 6 plus 3. No, no, no. What do I have to do first, following order of operations? Multiply. So 3 times 8 is what?
24.
24. These things need to be quick in your head, guys. You need to know your times tables. I mean, come on. High school. Welcome. 6 plus 24? 30. And you're done. So this first example had something that I needed to plug in, an evaluate problem, where I was given the value of 2. Going to the next, 2a and 2b, I'm not given x equals this. You're just doing math. So here we go. A. What do I do first in A? Multiplication. So put an 8 underneath 4 times 2. And that's what I multiplied first. So that means that I need to now put the 16 plus in front, and I need to put the minus 3 after it. Now I've got an addition sign and a subtraction sign. Go from left to right. So start on the left at the 16 and just do the math going to the right. Okay, 16 plus 8, 24. Bring down the minus 3. What's 24 take away 3? 21. That's my answer to number 2. Problem number B. What do I do first?
Division.
Just go from left to right. So those of you that said division were right, because division and multiplication, they're right next to each other. Look up above in that little, the beginning of examples. Work from left to right when multiplication and division are right next to each other. On 2b, they are. Okay, 48 divided by 3. Maybe you don't know it, so people don't yell out. You're going to have to do this on the side of your paper. How many times does 3 go into 48? And do the math. 3 goes into 4 one time. That's 3. You're too fast. I'm still working it out. See on the board? Subtract. 4 take away 3 is 1. Bring down the 8. 3 goes into 18. Okay. So that means that I've got 48 divided by 3 is 16 times 2. 16 times 2 is, we'll do it on the side of your paper if you don't know. 16 twice. You could do 16 plus 16, or you could do 16 times 2. 32. Okay, good. C and D, 2 times 8 to the third. So what is the first step? What do I do first? Exponents. Okay, in your groups, come up with what is 8 to the third. 8 times 8 times 8. Do it on your papers with your group. And then you guys can talk to each other since you're So work it out and compare answers. Okay, 512. 2 times 512. Okay? Then I'm doing 512 twice. Or I'm doing 512 plus 512. So what'd you get?
1,024.
1,024. Perfect. Moving on to D. Take a look overall at it first and then decide what you're going to do. First thing I'm going to do. Not subtract. Exponents. 2 squared. 2 times 2 is 4. Okay. There's an addition and subtraction right next door to each other. Side by side. They're on the same level. So I just like the little box says up at the top of examples, work from left to right. (32 minus 16).
26.
We just did that problem. I mean, in so many ways. 32 take away 16. 16. Then bring down the plus 4. 20. Perfect. Okay. Turn your paper over. I need to talk to you a little bit about the difference between the addition signs and the division. Addition and division on this paper look a lot alike. So let's talk about it. On number 1, it's 12 minus 8 plus 3. But I want to point out on number 4. Everybody look at number 4. On number 4, it says 3 plus, see how the plus sign is tall and skinny? And then look after the 15. Look at number 4. I'm not going to remind you more than once. There's a division sign. It's like blurred and the photocopy quality is poor. But can you tell the difference between that plus sign and that division sign? The division sign has little circly, it's shorter, it's like squat. It's not very, as tall. Okay, so let's do number 4. Since number 4 is actually a little bit of, involved. What would I do first on number 4? Yeah.
Division.
15 divided by 3. How many times does 3 go into 15? It goes 5. So then you're going to put the 5 underneath. And then you're going to put a 3 and a plus sign in front, and then the minus 4 after. Everything else that was there, you're going to put there. Okay. Now, addition and subtraction are right next to each other. You go from left to right. 3 plus 5 is 8. Take away 4. I'm running out of space, so. Okay, your job for classwork is 1 through 10. All right? I want to point out on number 5. It says 15 divided by, parentheses, 7 take away 2. And then it's a plus 3. So on number 15, we need to talk again about division versus addition sign. I don't want you to get the problem wrong because you're like, was it add or was it divide? So on number 5, make sure that you see the difference between the addition sign and the division sign. All right, keep working.